Oh, sweet Lord Jesus God in heaven, what did I just watch? Oh, man. Pardon my dramatics, but after three games this morning and the latter stages of the Euro 2016, my eyes hurt. My eyes hurt from watching that quality of football. Now, call me dramatic. Call me a dramatic post Brexit Scot, which I am. Valid point. But did you watch the football that was played? Did you watch the quality that was on show? This is not end of tournament quality football. Take the first game, for instance, and I'm pardoning the brilliance that was Shaqiri's out of the box overhead kick, which is now, without a doubt, the goal of the tournament. What? Take a boo, son. Take a boo, you little bodybuilder looking fellow, you. Aside from that, and a decent move for Blaszczykowski, it was the final product was awful. The overall tempo wasn't great, and it carried over into, without a doubt, again, going to emphasize without a doubt with that weird hybrid of an accent I'm doing at the moment, the worst game of the tournament, Wales versus Northern Ireland. Now, I understand both teams aren't plagued with quality. One team has world class at the number 11. The other team has decency throughout, but an overall heart of gold that has proven to be one of their best attributes in the tournament. Both teams qualified through fearlessness. Fearlessness in attacking their opponents. They went from being like watching Rambo before to watching The Conjuring 2. They were petrified of each other. They did not want to go and have that final product. They did not want to go and try and install some sort of cutting edge in the final third. And it was hard to watch at times. The final product collectively through these three football games, and I'm going to get to Croatia and Portugal last, it's the freshest in my memory. The final product collectively is about the same as what you'd get if you liquored me up with a bottle of Grey Goose, sent me to the batting cages, and just seen what happened. Not good at baseball, can't handle my liquor, overall disinterest of going to a batting cage, never going to end well. So for the final product for Northern Ireland, in their case, never beating the first man. Dangerous from set pieces, big men in the box, never ever beat the first man. And it's so frustrating. Northern Ireland fans are loud in their voice, most of them probably too drunk to even realise what's going on, and I would be the same. But it was infuriating because you see how much passion both sets of fans have to get themselves at this stage, and it was just a little bit frustrating and a little bit lackadaisical on both sides. Even Gareth Bale seemed to drop into a different standard. He was dropping into his own half, and this is something that I've been praising Gareth Bale about to this point, is that he's not been doing that. He's been sticking to his role that he has to play for Wales and playing as an outlet up top and getting the ball into feet and moving into space and moving off the ball like he did for the goal. That deadly cross in, that's what he has to be doing for the majority of the game. He was falling into the Ronaldo, Zlatan, Lewandowski role where they think that because they're the star player, that they need to try and do everything and drop into their own half and pick up the ball. I'd be like, Gareth, get out of here, mate. Take your man bun and go to the final third. Maybe move it a little wider, as you are one of the best players in the world at getting the ball and running. But a lot of the time in this game, he's picking it up in his own half and getting crowded out. So that was frustrating to see, and he needs to change that up. I'm sure Chris Coleman will be on him for the next game. But overall, I thought that Wales, despite two awful, I would say, kind of technical performances from each side, were unable to keep possession. They were the better team, and I think that they deserve to go through. It's harsh to see Northern Ireland go out. They've been one of the lights of this tournament so far, along with the Republic of Ireland, who we'll see in gameplay tomorrow. And don't worry, Ireland fans, I will be doing a recap of that. I know you feel like I've been avoiding and neglecting you, but time runs out on one man. I'm trying. Either way, I'll be doing a full video on that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that game. Hopefully, it possesses more goals collectively tomorrow than what happened today. But one team had to go out, and I told Ben Michaels actually it was a dead set. I thought 3 games were going to be draws. Obviously, one own goal away from that, but I mean, as I mentioned, like collectively, the football just wasn't great, and it affected the way I was watching it. I've been watching the Euros, and I've understood that the narrow amount of goals is not a problem for me. I have been a football fan since I can remember, and the lack of goals is what usually Americans use as an excuse not to watch the game. So when you hit me with all these average 1.34 goals, down 0.34 from last season, I couldn't give two bahoonies, or whatever that word I just made up there. I'm looking for the quality of football. Chile versus Argentina in the first game of the Copa America was 0-0 at half-time. And it was one of the funnest games I have watched in a long time. Both teams going at each other. You don't just need the goals. That's a shallow way to look at football. I need the goals. Like it doesn't need to be that way. You just want both teams to at least attempt to do so. So we're moving on to the last game. Gave myself an alley, and I'm going to hoop it. The Croatia and Portugal game, if you ever needed football to be summed up in 1 minute of play, watch the possession that led up to Cristiano Ronaldo's assist goal as he celebrated. He just missed a shot and Quaresma put it in. But that epitomised what football's all about. On one side you have Perisic smacking the post with a header, probably the right thing to have happened with that horrendous checkered hairstyle. But we'll move away from that. He's still a decent player, he's linked with Barcelona, this and that. Hits the post, counter-attack starts. Ronaldo, for the first time throughout the game, realised that his role is not to try and do something on his own 60 yards away from the opposition goal, but to try and utilise his best asset at this moment in the game, which is his stamina and his speed. So he plays the ball into space and he splits defenders and he takes off down the right-hand side. That was a mature decision from Ronaldo. And I know he didn't have a great game. I'm not clutching at straws to try and make Ronaldo seem unbelievable. And I will talk about how he bottled it with his finish. But either way, he takes defenders away, gives it into Renato, he pushes it forward, obviously, to Nani. And I'll touch on what Croatia should have done differently. But Nani scuffs his pass, and it finds its way to Ronaldo. And yes, he missed the opportunity. I think all of the crowd was waiting for a Ronaldo-esque moment. Shirt probably would have came off, flexing all over. Every man would have been envious because she can't get that body. My girlfriend would be sitting there looking at it like, why can't you look like that? It would just have been a bad sequence of events. But for him, it would have been great. And the groomed one could have had everything that he wants and always has wanted to take Portugal now single-handedly from starting the move and finishing it. But Subotic makes a great save. It's an easy hike for him, to be honest. I expected Ronaldo to drill it low and hard. And it falls to the player who encompasses everything that is a YouTube highlight footballer. He is great in glimpses. He's great if you cut up videos of him. But he's not great overall. He's not consistent, and he hasn't been in his career. But he does have moments of great quality. And you have to be there to score the goal. So credit to him for following it up, and a great moment for him to put the ball in the back of the net. So that sequence of events sums up football. It is a harsh sport. No other sport, I believe, can just take you to euphoria and slam you to the ground quicker than anything you can imagine. Croatia felt like the goal was coming, putting on the pressure. The big centre-half missed two great opportunities. I felt bad for him. He was devastated, as you can see at the end. Modric crying tears. Quality, great passing tears. But that's football. One end to the other. It was a dire game, again, a dead-set draw, but Portugal were able to sneak by. And here's the thing I said about Portugal. I warned everyone. I even stated that Croatia were a dark horse, and I'm upset because I had a bet on them to go to at least the semi-final. So, obviously, I'm unhappy about that. But Portugal have done this now every single game. They haven't hit the heights that they should be hitting. They've got quality in there, but they're scraping by teams somehow, scraping through the group stages, scraping through by Croatia, who are a tough team to play against. And now they have a great opportunity to get through to the semi-finals of this competition. And then it's just anyone's game. You're a game away from the final. You're 2 games away from it. 3 games away from winning it. And they have Poland, a team that are very beatable, struggling against a Swiss side that on paper they should have beat. Lewandowski, along with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, is the most overrated player in this tournament. Now, I understand that's going to cause an influx of Barcelona fanboys, and bring it on. Not Barcelona, FC Bayern, sorry. Bring it on. Bring on the Barcelona fanboys either way. Because, yes, I think he's quality. Yes, he has got world-class moments where he will finish with that striker's instinct, which he's gifted with. But when you're asking him to do a similar role, which he does with Bayern Munich, we're a team that has lesser quality, but does still have quality players. Blaszczykowski is a quality talent in there to play alongside. He just doesn't do enough for me in those crucial moments. So along with Zlatan, who gets a pass because he's Zlatan for Sweden. Yes, Sweden collectively aren't very good, but he would be dropping deep, trying to do things on his own, and was just useless at times. Not like Bale did at moments today where I was like, Bale, you need to get higher up the field. And when Ronaldo finally realised that, he was useful to his team. And these big-name players that everyone gives so much credit to need to be taken down a level when it comes to this. Lewandowski needs to show up. He's got the opportunity now to show up. And if they're wanting to beat Portugal, he'll have to show up. So Again, to go back to it, there was a harsh lesson learned in football. I think Croatia were the better team at times, but both teams weren't of great quality. Both teams didn't really want to attack each other until the dying stages of the game. And Portugal got that lucky break, and it fell to Quaresma, and it was game over for the Croats. So, could that have been avoided? Chorluka goes down with a ripped tight, or his ripped tights, whatever it is, and he's in a groin. I was just making fun of him. But either way, he might have been injured because he was moving jadedly around and he wasn't moving freely. And I think he could have closed Nani a little bit. 2-3 steps, he could have been inside the box, cut off that pass. If he was there a little sooner, supported his fullback, maybe. These decisions can come back to haunt you. Lucky for Wales, they didn't. They kept Ashley Williams on, where he was playing like Rambo. There's 2 Rambo references, yes, I'm counting, with his arm stuck by his side. But he played on like a trooper, and it didn't really affect his team. Northern Ireland should have tried to take advantage of that, but they didn't. But Portugal, with their fast break and those speedy players and Nani's mishit, they were able to exploit that weakness. And I think that the Croatia management may need to answer a few questions. Why was he still on the park? I think they still had a substitute at that point. He should have been substituted. It might not have changed anything. That defender might have been caught higher up the park, but it looked like he was a little bit unsettled. And unfortunately for them, Portugal now go through. So we have 2 bumpers in the quarterfinals. Now we have Wales facing potentially, arguably, soon to be a good game coming up, and now we wonder if it's going to fall into the hands of Portugal to go into the latter stages, who now face against a Poland team that many people have assumed to be great favourites to go through. Now, I personally think Wales will have to come up against Belgium. That's no discredit, but I think that Belgium, again, with the quality I've seen today from Wales, that heart, that passion, might not be enough to take them by an opponent like that. And I think that there was a wake-up call today that Wales have to play better, very similar to what they did against Russia, if they want to keep on this dream and manage to push themselves further past what everyone has expected them to do. So, overall, not an enjoyable day of football in terms of the talent. I actually was more looking forward to the NYCFC Seattle game that came on after and the ESPN coverage. No discredit, and I'm not slagging the league. I just was more excited to see that because the football I'd seen got me a little down in the dumps. But it's a Saturday afternoon, sun's shining. I'm sure I'll get past it. Let me know what you guys think. Comment section below. Francis_Maxwell on Twitter. Always love to interact with you over there. Francis Maxwell, host on Instagram. Maybe be doing a little TYT shirt giveaway soon. Head over there and follow me on there and potentially stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more recaps. Copa. I'm looking forward to Copa more than ever, man. Please give me some goals. Chile and Argentina, USA, Colombia fighting for 3rd place. We'll be covering that as well. Don't think I'm leaving them to the wayside. And of course, be back tomorrow with more Euro coverage. Ciao!